Hello, I'm Dwight Norris of fishingatwork.com, and today we're going to be talking about largemouth bass facts. Now, I've stated before that I finally finished my How to Catch More Bass PDF. So, I wanted to read you some great largemouth bass facts that I've written in it, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised about the amount of info and the great data that I've accumulated on how to catch more and bigger bass. Now, I won't be obviously reading the whole thing to you. You can go to the website and actually get the How to Catch More Bass PDF directly there by providing your email address, and it'll be sent to you ASAP. So let me just show you the actual front of the page here on my iPhone because it's easier to show this way. I could have just actually cut it into the video, but I'll just do it this way because it's easier. So, boom, right there. If you look, the How to Catch More Bass PDF right here on your iPhone. And I'm going to talk to you more about the facts than the actual techniques and places to go and like how to do specific things when you run across like situations. You can go and download it and get it and read it at your leisure. But for here, I'm going to give you a little preview of what's in there because it's fantastic. First, we'll start off with something called the sense of sight. Now, why would you want to know more about a largemouth bass? You know, it's a fish. They got eyeballs. They can see. They can see my lure that I paid $10 for, and they're going to eat it. Cool. Well, that's not exactly how bass perceive it. So let me read you just a few tips I have on the page here. Yes, in water less than 10 feet, the largest percentage of extra large bass strikes will occur between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Now, you're probably wondering, when it's 10 feet deep or less than 10 feet deep, why would a large bass feed in the middle of the day? Well, presumably, the larger bass don't need to feed that much. They actually go out in the middle of the day and they just roam. They don't get up early in the morning and chase things. Large bass don't like to move. They're just like older, larger people. You get lazier and looking for that you're looking for that easy meal, that gigantic meatball sub. I don't have to like run down like a rabbit or something and like hunt her and kill her and be like ripped and shredded. Not one of those guys. This is a nice, fat, largemouth bass. And like most people, it likes to be lazy, especially if there is moving water, like in the rivers here at the Charles River. They're staying as far away as possible from a current because that will make them use energy and therefore lose weight. That's pretty smart. Another information here is there's scientific research has shown that a largemouth bass's vision improves with age. Their eyes continue to grow throughout its lifespan, no matter what the size they are. I think I said it wrong. No matter what size they are. And this improves their vision exponentially. So, just like your fingernails and your hair grow even after you've deceased, or even when you get old, like everything else stops, like rejuvenating, like your skin and stuff and your bones, the hair and nails keep going. And that's the way the eyeballs work on a largemouth bass. They keep growing, they keep getting bigger, and their eyesight actually gets better. So what does this mean for you? Their eyeballs get bigger and they can see better. What do you think that means? It means they can see you better. They know you're standing over there on that boat. They're old and knowledgeable. They have a nice long beard like Merlin, and they're like, it's just that guy again with that crankbait trying to hit me over the head again. Getting out of here. Or even if they don't see you and they see something like going around there, they're like, is that a crankbait? Is it a real worm? Is it a real lizard? Or is it a real crayfish? Oh no, they have bigger eyes now with better eyesight. They can tell the difference between a live and a fake. And that's why if you want to catch an extremely large bass, you're going to have to work hard to actually trick it. You're going to probably have to go at a point where it's very hungry and it's like not going to think too much. It's going to be more of a reaction bite, which doesn't happen too often with larger bass, except when they're really hungry, like in the spring, or you have to go with that live bait and have to hook on a crayfish if you can find one. You know, sometimes you can find them in a creek bed, like I used to when I was a little kid. There was hundreds of them, but now they're gone. Not sure what happened. I think the water quality got worse. Yeah, the pH and the water quality. Um, but yes, that's another tip. Crayfish, when they're around, that's what the bass prefer. Sneak that one in there. Oh, my screen closed. Also, there's the sense of smell. Yeah, which just would actually clear up better. If you're hurting your eyes, I'm sorry. Might be an obvious one, but when the light levels get lower, the largemouth bass depend more on its sense of smell. Bass use a chemical communication and can distinguish odors for up to 25 feet, according to Dr. Lauren Hill. This same scent is created when prey is scared or injured. And this helps to bring in predators, just like when sharks smell blood in the water. So if you thought a bass might only smell things like if it goes up to it and like sniffs it out, oh no, they're not unlike a shark. They can smell things for a large distance. So that's when you use things like the Berkeley gulp worm with the salt and like the extra smell, and it gets dispersed evenly because it's a water soluble smell instead of the oil stuff that goes straight up. The water soluble actually spreads out in a circle around the bait rather than the oil base, which just floats up to the top because oil and water don't mix. Therefore, it goes straight to the top like an oil slick. Always go with the water soluble scents on your baits, or if you spray them on or inject them. So when they're released and they get a distance, a fish can smell that and they can track it right to it and just go. So don't underestimate your scented baits. There are other things it does other than keep a bass holding on longer. They actually can smell it, they can track it down, and then they can decide they're going to eat it or not, and then they taste it and they realize it does taste like they want it to taste, and they give you a larger percentage of time to actually catch it. So awesome. Don't underestimate the sense of smell of a bass. And I believe if it gets older, yes, older, i.e. bigger bass, have better developed sense of smell. And if you wonder why the older largemouth bass always seemed wiser, it is for a reason. They have bigger eyes and bigger noses. What else? What else is better than that? Keep reading to find out. Well, yes, it's another thing that makes them older and wiser. And that long beard I talked about, like Merlin, they can smell better too. They can see better, they can smell better. And they're getting more and more elusive because of this fact. You have to take this into account when you're trying to catch larger fish. They're smarter. Just like you're getting smarter, they're getting smarter. So you have to up your game and come ready to really slog it out because it's going to take a lot more than it used to. It's also the sense of hearing with this largemouth bass fact. I will do something a little different toward the end. Oh, here's a cool one. Boats can create wakes that disturb the shoreline. When this happens, bayfish and crayfish are disoriented and become vulnerable. And when a boat zooms by largemouth bass, they've been known to associate this with dinner time. So you're riding that boat a little faster than the wake speed, you know. Oops, didn't know that, sorry. And you disturb the shoreline with all the structure, you know, rocks, the overhanging trees, the stumps and the sunken branches. Any kind of forage that's in there, the bayfish, they get washed up. Whoa, they don't know what's going on. And then the next thing you know, they've been pulled out into the main channel where the bass are waiting right at that drop where it goes like this, and then they sit there and those things wash a little closer to them, and they're like, oh, it's dinner time, baby. And they come up, and then the fish are all spinning around and disoriented, like, where am I? Where's the structure? Where can I hide? And then everything goes black. They've been eaten. And that's the time when you want to Actually, maybe if you can, if you're already sitting there, just roll over there real fast. You can even make the wake yourself, but roll over there real fast behind that and cast that minnow, cast that crayfish, like the jig with the crayfish with the red tips, and just work it along there. You can actually be a little more aggressive because they're supposed to be disoriented and like floating around, maybe moving a little more than usual, and you're gonna get yourself some action, big time. And you'll also figure out what the fish are. And there's another section I have called feeding behavior. The temperature of water affects the metabolism of fish. Bass feed once every 2 weeks in extremely cold water. So, right now, it is going between 30 and 40 degrees and 60 degrees. Last week, every day was around 40 degrees and the wind was ripping at like 20 to 30, and it was ridiculous. I was getting tangles in my line. I've been fishing for like over 30 years. I should be able to cast my line without getting tangles, but man, it was rough. And today, 60 degrees, still a good breeze, like 15 to 20. But obviously that cold front has shut things down. Fall has started, and I was looking like, oh, cool, look at me. Bait fish schooling, fish jumping everywhere, attacking like everything. I'm gonna pull out the buzz bait. I'm gonna pull out the spinner bait. I'm gonna pull out the Rapala crankbaits and just like have a great time. There ain't jack out there. Nothing. It's still dead. And they tell me to go near the bridge abutments, and I can tell that they are there, but they are very sluggish. And the water temperature has dropped. I felt it. It's cold. It is cold. And I just reminded myself that I'm in New England. This is Boston. It's supposed to be cold. And the fish shut down earlier, just like your your summers are much longer in Florida. The winters are much longer here. Boo hoo. So if you're down south and you're fishing, awesome. Go out there and do it. I'm not going to read too many more largemouth bass facts, but I just want to give you a good gist of the How to Catch More Bass PDF and the fact that you need to read this. It's free. I'm giving it to you. Please take it, consume it, try some of these tips out. They'll work. You'll enjoy yourself. And please come back for more valuable content. I'll be making it regularly. If you have any suggestions, please write down in the comments below. I might even make a video reply to you and make it into a nice little video montage like this. It's like totally describing your thing, and then I'll link it to the comment so you can watch it and consume it, and other people can as well. Also, subscribe. I'll do one more thing. I'll do one more thing here. Salt techniques. Live bait tech. Oh man, I made so much valuable content. It's astonishing. 45 pages. 45 pages of tips, techniques, and tactics on catching largemouth bass. So, many people are eluded by the spawning phase of largemouth bass. When are they going to be on the flats? When are they almost on the flats? When are they going to leave the flats? What kind of fishing um, can I get when I go out there? And what can I expect? It really depends, but there is a reason for everything. And it mostly has to do with how much sun there is and what temperature the air and the water is. That will determine when the spawning phase starts, where it starts, and for how long it goes. Because not every bass actually spawns at the same time. Sometimes you'll have a spawning bed that might be used 3 or 4 times in one season. And then after that, the bluegills and the crappie will use it. So that's not good. You don't want to know that. The movement to the shallows to spawn is influenced by how long the daytime is, the amount of sun, and the water temperature. I forgot about the daytime. So right now, daytime isn't that long, and obviously it's the wrong season. It's not spring. But on the flip side, in the spring, when it's still dark outside, the fish know that it's not time to do this, and it's not going to be warm enough, and the pH is going to be off, and some other things. So they're going to wait until the optimal moment. And for the spawning phase, can I show you this? Here you go. Spawning phase. They will spawn next to cover so they have less area to defend. So if they're battling off people and stuff and they're coming from all 4 directions, that's kind of hard. You have to spend 360. So why not put yourself into a corner? Not a corner because you're trapped, a corner that you can actually defend easier. So if you're in this, like there's a triangle here, so imagine it. You're in this corner, all you have to do, you have to defend this way and that way. Boom, boom, you know, bluegill come at you, hit them up. Crappie come at you, hit them up. Some other kind of baby largemouth bass comes in, wants to eat your eggs too, light them up. You only have to hit 2 directions instead of 4. It's crazy. And I never knew a largemouth bass did that till I did some research. So you should do some research too. There are plenty of publications that you can go to and learn about fishing in general. One is On the Water. They have everything, freshwater, saltwater. They have it for every type of fishing too. I actually talked to the local kayak fisherman for salt and freshwater here in Boston. He actually lives in the next town over. Can't believe it. What's his name? Eric Harrison. Go on onthewater.com and you'll get some great stuff about catching largemouth bass and striped bass, because those are the 2 big games to fish. Let's be, serious here along the East Coast for most people. So yeah, that's all I wanted to go over with the largemouth bass facts. Just want to let you know about this How to Catch More Bass PDF, and that you can get it on the website. I haven't made the link yet. I'm going to actually add it right to the middle section temporarily. Right now, there's also the 10-step process to go fishing at work, which is more important for fishing at work because that's what we're about. But I want to give you something else that you would love to download and use and catch more fish. So I've created this for you. And it's even longer than a 10-step process to go fishing at work. It's 45 pages of valuable content. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the website. It'll be just below the fold. Just go to the website and scroll down. You'll see a little section talking about How to Catch More Bass PDF. Please subscribe here. You'll put in your email address, and then you'll get the document right in your email. Thank you. And after that, I'll say thank you, and then I'll give you more valuable content through email about catching bass, or catching perch, or catching bluegill, or catching crappie, or whatever else I'm going after here in the Charles River or somewhere else where I go on vacation, like catfish or striped bass, or maybe I'll hit the saltwater soon. And next year, I actually have a person that has agreed to teach me how to fly fish. So I'm going to get out there in the spring and start slinging that fly rod and hopefully not landing in my eyeball. And I'm going to work that out, and I'm going to see how the fly fishermen live, because it looks pretty cool when they do it in the slow-mo. So I'm Dwight Norris, fishingatwork.com, telling you to go get this PDF, subscribe down below, write comments, hit the like button, go to the website, get the 10-step process, the Fishing at Work PDF, and the How to Catch More Bass PDF. Thank you, and good night.